Hey, this is Edward Fox. Thank you for watching this video. This video is going to be my theory on how, let's say, retail buyers are going to have to go about getting their dream home in this economy. There's talk about a downturn, there's talk about a housing crisis. One of the things that I'm thinking that people are going to have to do, which just makes logical sense to me, is they're going to have to start thinking like an investor, almost cutting out the middleman. A lot of people that are looking to buy their first home in the US right now, they're seeing headlines about the highest interest rates ever in like 30 years. They're seeing different information about inventory being low. What I'm proposing that people should do, I think that they can kind of cut out the middleman. And it really depends on the person, on their willingness to work, their willingness to make some different things happen, potentially go through rejection. If they're trying to buy a house on the retail market right now, they're going to go through rejection anyway. Some of these buyers are getting pushback from sellers. They're like, hey, I want more. There's only one house in this neighborhood selling right now, and it's mine. And the other houses that are already sold, they sold for more than you're able to bid. So now let's get to what I'm thinking people should do. All right, so we know when it comes to real estate, if we're looking at land, there's only so much, and what they tell us in the real estate class is that they're not making any more of it. Hawaii is one of the very small places. It's a certain place in Hawaii that grows more land because of the volcano eruptions, but that's not everywhere else. So when it comes to getting property in the United States, there's different ways to go about it. One of the best ways to go about it is looking at off-market deals. This is what investors are doing. Investors are looking for people that have what are called wholesale deals. That means, let's say me or you, we go to a tax sale, find a property that is very undervalued because the person that is one of the owners has not paid the taxes, or there's probate sales. A probate is like a family member, a person dies, and then the family doesn't have all the right things set up to actually have the next person come in and take ownership and management of the property. So when the multiple family members start to argue and disagree over who gets the property, someone has to file with the court to get it into probate. So it can be in, so they can get out of just arguing about it. They have to go argue basically with the court about who gets the property. So there's multiple ways that a person can find an off-market property, but one of the best ways, I would say, look for houses that are a bit run down, I would say. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and there are multiple neighborhoods that have vacant properties. Let's say Vine City is one of them. Vine City is the neighborhood that is closest to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But there are houses that are not being taken good care of. No one's living there. But what I think that people should do is think like an investor. You can go online. There's different websites, tools like PropStream. With PropStream, you can actually look in certain areas in a city and look for the most vacant houses. You can look for houses that are actually behind on their payments. That could be a pre-foreclosure or a foreclosure. That's actually another way that I think people should look for a really good house. And all of this is under the understanding that the person that's looking to buy their first property, their income is where it needs to be and their credit is where it needs to be. Because if you're finding off-market deals and you're looking to do a fix and flip, maybe not the flip part, you're not selling, you could, let's say if you find a house and you know you can get it for about $200, right? A $200,000 house in a neighborhood where the houses are really selling for $400,000. That's because the family members or the owners of the property, they're not willing to do what it takes to renovate the property so it can be at after repair value, so either they can rent it out or they could sell it. This is where me or another person comes into play. We contact these people through finding the address and doing what's called a skip trace. Skip trace is to find their name, phone number, and email address. You can contact these people in these three ways. You can even send letters to the address of the person on the title. When I say on the title, I mean you can go to the county tax assessor's website and see who is listed as the owner for this property. When you do that, now you're able to see their name, their address. It may be the address for the property that you're looking at, or maybe an address for where they actually live and they just own property in another place. They call this a vacant owner or absentee owner. So basically, you get the information of this person that could potentially sell. Sometimes we call them a motivated seller, but you get this information. You call them, you text them, email them, and you even send them postcards like, hey, are you open to selling your property? You get them on the phone, you ask them if they're open to selling, see what the condition of the house is, potentially see about going to look at the property so you can assess how much this property may need in renovations. Now, if you're a retail buyer, you're trying to think like an investor, you're taking my advice, but you don't know all the ins and outs, have a contractor come with you. Maybe have multiple contractors come with you at different times. Or maybe even you can look for wholesalers that already have deals and you just know that your credit is where it needs to be. That means you can get a hard money loan, and then at the end of the fix and flip, you can refinance to get an actual loan from a bank like Chase, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo, or any of the others. So these are great ways that you could get a house right now, even when things aren't going your way in the retail market space. So again, let's back to the example. You find the house, there's a seller willing to sell you a $200,000 house in a neighborhood where all the other houses are $400,000. Let's say the house needs $150,000 in renovations. So $200,000 plus the $150, you're looking at $350 to get a house fully renovated to be valued at $400,000 as soon as you are done with the renovation. I think this is something that's very cool, especially if you're going to be living in the house. That means with the renovation budget that you're able to get from the hard money lender. The hard money lender, they're basically what some people may call a loan shark. A hard money lender is going to make money from the deal whether you do right or not. When I say this, I mean a hard money lender makes money when you renovate the property and either sell the property at the higher value above what they helped you buy it for in the renovation costs, or you can also do a refinance. This is what people do when they're just buying and holding. The buy and hold is you use a hard money lender to buy the property. They could be putting up 90 or 80% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab amount. And sometimes these lenders just need you to have like a 640 credit score. That's really a great entry level to do this type of deal. But then B, you can, that's all I was telling you the thing about the refinance with a different loan. You can get a conventional loan from a bank like JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, things like that. So either you get the money to pay back the hard money lender, or two, they foreclose on the house and they can sell and they can just finish the deal themselves, or they can rent it out. So hard money lenders are going to make money whether you do right or wrong. So the thing is, you need to learn the game and learn how to do these deals the right way. After finding a deal like this, again, we call them wholesale deal. You find a person, they maybe have a vacant house or a rundown house in a good area, like the ugly house in the street. You offer them enough money and they're like, hey, yeah, I'll do the deal. You know you can get the money from a hard money lender. You go to hard money lenders, you check out their interest rates and their criteria for actually loaning the money, and you get to see the terms. It may be a 6-month loan, 12 months, or even 18 months, and your interest rates might be around 14% with, or maybe 12% and 2 points. It actually gets very close to usury depending on who you're talking to. But learning how to navigate these types of deals is going to be very helpful for you, because you do this for your first property and you see this is a great place. I work with the contractor and their team to make this house something you can be proud of, something that you can live in, and then you say, hey, I like doing this, let me go do this with another property and then actually sell. That's what real estate investors are doing. Real estate investors are finding a gap. They're doing a value add strategy. They're like, hey, this house or this building needs some help. The house is like, hey, you know, there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but we can add a bedroom, we can add a bathroom, because there's space for that. So, hey, there's a lot that can be done when it comes to real estate. There's people looking for the dream house for their first purchase. I understand that thought process, but you can use a hard money loan to get a property, get a contractor that you can trust to renovate it. Maybe you can do it with them. Maybe you can make it a DIY thing. I've seen that a lot of times on HGTV. And you can get your dream house in an unconventional way. So I want you to research as much of what I've talked about in this video. Research as much as possible. This is real. This is actually happening. This is what the investors are doing. They're buying these properties at wholesale prices, renovating them with their team, or they're hiring a contractor, and they're calling a realtor, and the realtor lists the property for them, and that's when retail buyers are able to find it on the MLS later on when they're looking on Redfin or Zillow or some other website. But you can take matters into your own hands and actually go do what the investors are doing. You can go directly to the potential seller of, let's say, a rundown house or the ugly house in the neighborhood just needs some tender love and care to get it to top shape after repair value. That's what we call it. And you look at the comps and say, hey, this $200,000 house is worth $400,000 after it's renovated. It takes about $150 to renovate it. Now you're about $350 all in to get a house that's worth $400,000. And guess what? That's just the start. If you own the house and you keep the house, it's going to appreciate over time, and you're then going to have a house that may be worth $410 or $420 or $450 as time goes on. Because again, like I started the video, with real estate, when it comes to land, they're not making any more of it, except in a special case over in Hawaii with that lava in the volcano. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully it's been helpful. Yeah, if you're looking to buy a house, definitely look at going the investor route, looking for something that's not fully done yet, something that you can put your personal touch into. You find the deal, you find a great contractor, and you kind of cut out the investor and the realtor. You can make this happen on your own. Well, with a team. You got to find the right people to help you out with this deal. And you probably should talk to a realtor about it. Some of them might try to scare you away from it because they make money on actually helping people buy a property, and you would kind of be cutting them out of the process if you don't need their services. But there's some realtors that'll tell you straight up, hey, this is what my investors are doing. It makes sense to go this route, and I think you should try it. All right, thanks so much for your time. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.